alone.
Uh-huh.
Click on File,
Where is the file?
all the
File.
way up top left corner of SQL Developer.
Uh, that okay. File.
Okay, File, click on New.
New.
Bijoy, Imrul, are you guys following?
I'm
Yes.
following, but my one is not responding. You might go ahead. I will look at.
Okay, and then under Categories, you select on Database Files.
Database file.
This file.
Okay, and then you have SQL file available right on the right side.
Yes.
Okay, you select that and then you click OK.
Yes.
Okay, the file name, because
Okay.
we will be working with select statements,
Okay.
I'll change it to select statements, select underscore statements, no space. It does not
What I
like,
write file name?
I'm sorry,
What is the file name?
file name will be select statement, select space statement dot SQL. And then we change the directory to
That your word actually cutting down. SQL. SQL.
space
Okay.
statement dot SQL.
Space statement.
Mhm.
A statement. Select statement
Dot SQL.
dot SQL.
Dot
And then you click on browse
and browse.
and then you click on desktop on the left hand side. This icon here.
Yes.
Desktop. Okay.
And then click on desktop and then click select.
Select.
And then you click OK.
Okay.
Okay.
So after you click OK, you should get something like this, a blank page.
A worksheet.
You will get a blank page here. Okay.
Yes.
And then the header should say select space statement.sql.
Yes.
Select
Okay.
state dot SQL. Yes.
Okay. So in SQL, okay, double hyphen is comments.
Double hyphen.
Okay. So if you want to write any comment within your code, you use double hyphen. Okay. So I'm just putting some notes on it.
Double hyphen
Can you clear them? What is the comment on database? They are not clear on the comments.
is used on
So comment is putting notes on your code. So if you write some code today and you want to see the same code, say 6 months later, you'll most likely forget what this code is supposed to do. So you leave notes inside your code. So when you look back at it, you can refresh your memory.
Yes.
Is that clear?
Number one.
So one more time, comment is basically if you bypass some lines of SQL command and you have to be use double hyphen that run basically bypass that line and continuous your statement.
Okay. Anyone has any question about comments or notes?
So these comment writing for what?
I'm sorry.
These comment why you are writing.
you're just writing your notes, anything you want, anything that's not supposed to be executed. Say you have all this code that you wrote over time. Over time, your code bit gets very big, and you don't want to execute certain portion or in terms of a developer, you don't want to do certain unit of um, uh, to be executed. So you comment it out. So that way, when you're running it, it doesn't read it. Okay, comment is just notes. Okay, just keep that in mind. Comments are notes that the execution of the script uh, is not able to read. That's pretty much it. Okay. So today, what have we done so far? Created.
So number 3 is blank.
Created for user stories. Um, Today we are learning. What is this? We're learning select statements. Okay. So anytime, remember this page was blank. This page has nothing in it, guys. So when you have nothing in it, the title of the page was just like this one, start page, right? So everything was straight. And when you make some changes and it's not saved, this becomes italic. You guys see it? The name
Yes.
is, the text is not straight like the other ones. It's italic. So this actually indicates that you have something on here that is not saved. So when I save it, this becomes straight. Okay?
So if there is any mistake, so how can I write down again?
If there is what?
If there is any spelling mistakes like a statement.
Oh, on here, this is just it will tell you when you have error. So that's what I'm gonna go into now. So as far as the documentation I have provided, right? It actually says for select statement. Okay, select statement is used to query database data from database and get the result where the results is stored, right?
Yep.
And then you will show up in a result set. Okay, we have to use the select word. Okay, keyword is select followed by the column name. In other words, the information that we want from the database. Okay, we want everything. Okay, so let's start with everything.
What is the last one?
We start with everything.
To date.
Meaning you go by the column name. If you want, you can go by the column name. But if you want everything, okay, we go with everything. So, uh, what do we want? Get all the data from employees table. Okay, so what is the query? Select. So you see how my spelling is throwing up an error? Let's say I'll leave it like that. Select all from employee. Okay. So now when I hover over this, actually let's execute that. Everyone has this written?
I can copy and paste all of this from here. No.
No, if you do copy paste, it will not work because uh, SQL developer has a different method of comments it uses. You can do copy and paste, but then you will start having issue when it comes to the complex
Uh,
forms. Because of the the font it uses, it's different fonts. You can copy and paste these minor ones, but going forward, they will not work.
Select and start form. You,
Okay, so it was showing me an error. Okay, it was showing me an error because I was missing T for my select. Okay, so when I do select all from employees, and then I do run statement. Okay, run statement. Do you guys see this button?
yeah.
Save button. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Runs.
So we do
this
run
one.
statement button, and then it's gonna
Run
ask
statement.
which database do you want to run it from.
So run.
Yeah. And then you select the database and you click OK.
Can I do that again? Like which one?
Some of the what I could not write. Today we are learning. Okay. Today we are learning.
These are notes for myself, so you don't have to take all the notes.
Okay. Yeah.
You start from here. Okay. You start from line 8.
Get all data.
From employees table.
So after the select from implies, then what I have to do?
And then you select on that line, and then you can click on. Don't do anything yet. I'll show you something very interesting. So in a normal scenario, you will have more than one database on here. You see how it says connection, and then you have plus sign, and then HR schema. Most likely, you will have a lot of database connections here. Okay, that's where you use the tool SQL Developer like the way I'm showing you. But if you have only one, you can just double click on it, and then you'll make the connection for you, and then you'll open up a new notepad for you, a new blank document for you. Okay, so let me show it to you real quick. So I'm gonna disconnect. Say at the beginning of the day, right? I have no connection made. I just start my SQL developer. I double click on this. It's gonna open a new blank page every time you make the connection. Okay, but in a real scenario, when you're playing around with database, you have lines and lines of codes that you already have written. You already write the code, and you just want to use the same code. So when you want to reuse the same code, you save your document every day, right? So you open up your SQL developer. This is what you come up with. Now notice that I don't have my document open, right?
Yeah.
So I go to open, then I go to desktop, and then we select SQL, select statement .sql. Okay, that's the one I use. So this is where it opens up. This has my code, but it does not have the database. So another for me to do the database connection, I go to the right corner where the drum is. You guys paying attention?
Yes.
So wherever this drum is, I click on the drop down, and then this will show me a list of all of the database that I have authentication with. Okay, so all the database that I have here will show up on this list. Now remember, if I double click on this, it's gonna open a blank page, but I don't want a blank page. I want all of the queries that I have already written. I don't want to rewrite myself. Well, I open it first. I open my query first, and then I make the connection. When I click on this, when I select this, it makes the connection. You can actually tell that it has a plug next to it. So when I disconnect, this drum here does not have. Let me get my magnifier.
What is disconnect?
Um, I'll show it to you guys. Okay, so when I go over my drum, right?
Yes.
The zoom screen.
Mm-hmm.
So when there is no connection, there is no plug like this one, right?
Yeah.
So when I go to here and then I connect, after I make the connection, you see a plug that's on it,
Okay.
okay, on the drum. So that's just
Yes.
indicating that there is a connection made or known connection that was made. Okay. So I'll go ahead and close my magnification. Okay. So after we make the connection, right, we highlight this, and then you can do click on the play button. You guys get that? You highlight your query,
Yes.
and then you click on the run statement button.
Yeah.
Okay. We're saying choose an existing connection. I did not connect. Okay.
Okay, everyone has this section here.
My thing did not come like I thought it came something.
I'm sorry.
Came like error starting at link 7 in common.
Okay, so did you type this one in? Select all from employees. Select star from employees. Select star from employees.
Select.
Employee.
Okay, dot.
No, it's not dot. It's a star.
Okay.
Wait, zoom in. View, zoom, 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 zoom. Okay, so this is a star, not a dot.
Okay.
Okay, which is shift 8. That's correct.
Let's see.
Shift 8. So when you do shift 8, so I'm actually going to write up my interview questions that I'll be following up with. You guys have this down here?
Yes.
You guys have your results set? Joy,
What I need to do?
do you have the results set?
Yeah, that's employer ID 100.
You guys have this, right?
Yeah, I have this.
Okay, Bijoy, do you have this?
The same thing will come to my SQL also?
Yes.
No, I don't have that.
Okay, so after you write this, okay, you highlight, okay, and then you click on play.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Click on this. Okay, send me ping me your error. Whatever the error you're getting, copy and paste it in the chat.
Error is ORA 00942. Table or view does not exist.
Okay, so what is the error?
ORA
Uh-huh.
09942. Table or view does not exist.
Table or view does not exist. Did you make a connection?
The
Yes.
my system is not working. So you go ahead. I have the recording, so I'm gonna work it.
Um,
I have that connection. Yes. Connected.
a table or view does not exist. I wonder.
The column 7, I get all the data from employee and then select star from employee. And I select star from the employee selected and run.
Okay, so do you have the employee spelling correct?
EM, yeah.
So is this the error you're getting?
No,
Is this the error you're getting?
hold on. Yes, yes.
So okay, so make sure your spelling is correct. Employees.
Amin bhai,
Ji.
copy the query to the chat window and let them copy and paste it on their SQL database. Make sure they are, yeah. You are in private mode. Can you select the entire? There you go. So take
Yeah.
this statement, copy it and paste on your SQL and run it.
Select from employees.
On first time, just copy from chat window and paste there instead of try yourself. That the way we make sure you have connected to database.
Yeah, Ujjwal Dada, you should have the proper connection because when I did the installation, I already tried it for you. And whoever I did I do Emerald? No, I didn't do Emerald. I did Bijoy's one, so Bijoy has connection too.
Okay, let's delete the.
Actually, Emerald has connection too because I verified that it has connection.
Yeah, I have connection.
So Dada, what's your update?
Just a second, I'm trying to paste here.
Okay.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay. No. I need to buy this mouse.
Yeah, I got the result. Yeah, I get connection.
Okay, now select. And run.
Okay, would
Okay.
you?
Yes, I got the result.
Okay, you got the result, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now moving on to the questions. How do you execute query in SQL Developer? Okay, the one we just did is highlight or click on the query and click on what was this button? Run
Run.
statement. Okay, so this is one way of doing it. Second method is highlight or click on the query and hit Ctrl plus enter on keyboard. Okay, third method, highlight or click on the query and hit F9 on keyboard. Okay, this is a shortcut, so you don't have to know these answers. Okay, so we can click on this guy, we can click on our query and then hit F9. You will do the same exact thing. Or we can click on the query and then click Control and Enter. You will do the same exact thing. Or we can highlight the query. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have query that's like really long and you only want to execute parts of it, you only highlight the part that you want to execute. Okay, then you will only highlight only that portion that's only highlighted. Okay, next interview question is how do you write your query to get all data from a given table?
How?
How do you
Right.
get all data
Yeah.
uh, do you guys get that? So this statement we have written, okay, we are retrieving all of the data from the employees table. This is pretty much the same question. How do you get all the data from a given table? So when I say table, table on here is employees, and we are getting all the data. So when we're getting all of the data, what are we getting? We are getting employee ID, first name, last name, email, phone number, hire date, job ID, salary, commission, manager ID, department ID, and that's the same information that is on our HR schema. Okay,
Okay.
so HR schema, when you guys go to the email and download the attachment, you will have this information on there, and you will also have a link. I don't know if the link is supposed to work. Well, it's supposed to work, but it's not working. I'll see if I can get that fixed. Um, so this is this is a table here. This is another table, and this arrow is indicating that it's making a connection. This arrow is making indication of making connection. So these are all the tables, all separate tables we have. Okay, the location, department, job history, countries, employees, jobs, regions. These are all the different tables we have stored in the HR schema database.
Mm.
So on here, when you expand this, we have HR schema as the database. Within the database, we have all of these tables. Okay. So when we want to see the data that's stored in a certain, actually, I'll go into this later because this is going to confuse you now. Let's do all the tricks that we can do with just one table for today, and then we'll move on. Anyone has any question on the first question? How do you execute query in SQL Developer?
No.
Okay. So some of you guys already know the fact that you guys already have another tool installed, which is Run SQL. So before SQL Developer, or if if you guys have someone in your company that's like heavily into DVA, or they have a high role of database testing, they will have something like this, something black and white.
Okay.
Okay, it's good to have that, but it's not. Um, so I'm just making a connection. It just says connected. So I'm gonna write the same query. Okay, the same query on here. CT all from employees. Okay, and then I put semicolon and then I hit enter. So whatever data we have here is showing up here. You see how messy it looks?
Mm.
Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys can see that it looks very messy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy to manipulate. It's not easy to read. It's not user friendly. So that's where our SQL developer or tools like Toad and all these third-party tools comes in for database testing. So SQL developer, when they ask you which IDE, okay, or which tool did you use for database testing, your first,
Answer.
let me write those questions down because I'll be asking you guys this question. What tool did you use for database testing? Okay, your answer should be SQL developer. Okay.
SQL
Then
developer.
if you want to say the version number, okay, you can mention the version number 4.1.5,
4.1.
4.1.5. Okay, you don't have to, but if you tell them it's a specific version number, it's a good thing that they actually know which tools you're familiar with or how updated your company is. So I would say just say 4, SQL Developer 4, okay? Because um, or you don't even have to mention it. Okay, just say SQL Developer code. What else is out there? There's plenty of other ones out there. Okay. So for now, I'll just use these two. Okay, Toad. I have not used Toad, and I'm pretty sure it's just as friendly as SQL Developer. Okay. The question for Ujjwal.
Okay.
Um, how do I save my query? So all the notes I have here,
Mhm.
all the notes and the query I have here, I want to save everything. So that way, when I come back tomorrow or when I come back on Monday, I don't have to rewrite everything.
So go to the save button that's next to the file.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, and hit save.
And then hit saves. So how do I know it is saved?
How do I know?
How do I know it's saved? The title here is no longer italic. Okay. The title here,
Mhm.
the page title,
Mhm.
is no longer italic. Okay, that's how you know it's saved. Okay, so when you see how it changed into italic now, the title here.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can.
I see that.
So I have to do that too.
I have a two.
Okay.
How can I get that like this one queued last one result? Like I didn't get that.
All of this down here.
Yeah.
So we run this query. So when we run this,
Popular one?
But
sorry,
you know, I did not write all of those 11, 12, 13, 14, those.
Okay.
this you don't have to write. I'll email you guys this.
Okay.
I'll email this to you guys. I'll email everything at the end of the class, and it's also being recorded. Okay, so next question: how do you get retrieve only first and last name of the employees? Okay, so what is our question here?
How to get the employee's first and last name?
Okay, so what do we write left? Okay,
Okay. Okay.
so we know first name is stored in the first underscore name column, right?
Yeah.
The column name, we have to provide the column name. Okay, so we have to follow the same exact way. First underscore name,
Underscore
comma,
name.
okay, last underscore name, okay, from employees. Okay, so in our case, first name is a column name. Last name is the column name. Employees is the table name.
Okay.
Okay. So we highlight this. We highlight and we click
Yeah.
on execute. Okay. So now we have all of the
Like first and last.
first and last name. Okay. Let me run this again so I can show you something real quick. When you pay attention, right, you will see 50 rows, okay, 50 rows in. If this is indicating
The 50 employee have.
we have more than 50 because when we did it in SQL, it was showing us 107, right? So on here, it's also showing us 107, but it doesn't show you all of it when you run the query. You have to scroll down to see everything you need. Okay, that's where SQL developer comes handy because when it retrieves data, it only retrieves for the first 50 or default value added for. Okay, and then you can scroll down, and then you can scroll for more. So the question here is, okay, question here is retrieve only data for given columns. Okay, so the statement should be select. Somebody help me. I explained this like 2 minutes ago. Select column name.
Column.
Okay. Actually, let's call it select column 1 and then column 2 from table name, right? Okay, if you guys have paid attention, you see how every line of my query is ending with a semicolon?
Yeah.
It's good practice to use it. You don't have to. It's good practice to use it so that way when you have a lot of line, SQL does not confuse itself. Because if you don't have it, it's thinking that if you have it like this without it, and then I try to run it, it's gonna think this query is part of this query. And then you see how it's showing me error on line 22. That's because you can't have a select, select without, we'll actually get into it when you're doing subqueries. That's the only time you can have select within select. Okay, so if you have a complete line, complete question, like in English or in whatever language we are familiar with, when you have a question, the question always has to end with a question mark, right?
Yes.
Okay, so query is a question. What are we trying to get from where? Okay, so we're saying give me everything from employees, right? That
Yeah.
will be the plain way, plain English. And on here, on this code, we are saying, give me only the first name and last name for employees. And then we end it with semicolon. We can have it without the semicolon, but if we have it without the semicolon, we have to highlight every single time we have to highlight it and then run it. Well, it's good to have this so that I can just click on the column on the query anywhere in the query, and then I can do a run. Okay. That's it. What else can we do? Let's see. We want to. Let's say we want to get a count. Get count of how many records are in the table. Do you guys understand this question? Guys?
Yes.
Okay. So remember how it's showing me only 50 here when I run the query,
Yeah.
and then when I do it in SQL, run SQL command line, it's showing me 107. So SQL developers is smart enough to show you only the first 50 at a time, or a default value of how you set it up. Okay, it will only show you the first length of it, and then as you scroll down, you'll keep updating as it goes.
So
Okay.
is that
So,
it goes
sorry.
with the URL pages or just 50 item shows at a time?
No, it's only in SQL developer. So, but when your UI is trying to do it, it doesn't do it, right? Because UI has a direct connection to your database. Okay. So let's say say um,
কথা কয়।
let's say you have your UI here, right? Web page, right? And then you have your database. Okay. Your web page has direct connection to the database, right? And then all we are doing is okay. This is where we come in. Okay. So you have your web page or your application. Somebody tell me what this word is. Can somebody explain to me what AUT is? Bijoy? Emerald? Am I offline?
You mean AUT or UAT?
AUT.
I don't know that one.
Okay. It's fine. Yeah, I'll explain it to you guys. AUT. Application under test.
Oh.
Okay. It's very simple. So instead of referring to it as software development, software being developed, or testing software, you can refer to it as AUT or SUT. So if it's SUT, it's going to be software under test. If it's AUT, it's application under test. Okay, so whatever your AUT is, whichever application you're working on, the application is connected to a database. And we are doing the database testing in the middle between where the application is. So we're feeding data. Okay, we can either update it directly here, and then make sure it shows up in the UI. Okay, that's gonna get confusing if I get more into details. So, how do we get count of how many records are in the database, right? So we do select, count, and then open parentheses, star, from employees. Okay, this is the statement that we will be using to okay, so we highlight this, okay, and then it shows us 107. Okay, so this count is the same as what we get in SQL run command line. And if you don't have the proper privileges in company, you may not get access to this because as this tool is very empty, but also at the same time it could be a very dangerous tool depending on who has access to it because with this one you can make a lot of damage to the database. That's why you have the UI which restricts your limitations of how much you can do. Okay, any questions so far? Momin bhai, what time is the section until?
Yeah.
Did you ask any question, Amin bhai?
Yeah, what time is the session until?
Do you have enough time, or how about them, their side?
Yeah, so do you guys want to continue or you want to pick it up later? Enroll the table in the employees table. ID employees table. We have there. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people working in IT prog and 2 people in AD VP. I don't know what. Oh, I think it's advertisement vice president. Anyway, doesn't matter. But this is how you do it. And there are short videos in Udemy explaining, going into a lot more details of how to do all this stuff. And one other thing Momin has mentioned is that when we save our query and our statement query is saved, your save button gets disabled. Okay, when it's disabled, that means your thing is saved. So it's better if you save your query unless you want to rewrite 100 lines of codes every single day. So it's better to have a query saved so that way you know your database changes, whatever changes, you
Yeah.
can change it from here on the menu, and then you can just run the same query over and over instead of keep writing the same query over and over. Because writing the query, especially when you have complex query, it's very hard to like put them together because you can have something like, give me a let's see, let me see if I can come up with something. Um, Show me all the employees that fall in between 101 and 110. Their first name starts with B and last name starts with D, and their phone number or their salary could be 6,000, and they work in department 90. And you see how many conditions I have within my query. So when you have complex queries like that, uh, your query gets big. You know, you no longer have like a small query um, so that you don't have to keep writing it. And also, you guys can go to w3schools.org. Okay, w3schools.com. There is tutorial for SQL. Okay, server side, learn SQL. Okay, you can go through all of this. Okay, this will pretty much give you everything else. Now the only difference they have is they don't have the same, they don't work with the same database that we are working with, so their table names would be a little different, but everything else is same. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll end the session for today, and I will